on these rollerblades is one of the highlights of Gus Georgakis's day after being stood down from his hospitality job for the 6th time.
Being a uni student for the last kind of 4 years or so, I've gotten pretty good at living on a budget.
Gus's bar work helped support him during his university studies, but since graduating a few months ago, he hasn't been able to secure a job linked to his science degree, and now he's given up.
Hoping that maybe there might be a few more graduate roles kind of in that summer internship sort of period.
It's people like Gus who will start to show up in the labour force data. While the headline tells a story of falling unemployment down to an almost 13-year low of 4.6%, it's skewed by the fact that to be counted as unemployed, people actually have to be looking for a job, and they're not.
The simple reality is that today's data does not paint an accurate picture at all of what went on in the labour market in July.
Digging deeper gives a clearer picture. The participation rate fell to 66%, and the number of people not in the labour force increased by almost 44,000. Underemployment rose to 8.3% as the number of hours worked fell by 3 million. The number of people stood down or fired is expected to rise rapidly.
I think we're looking at a huge number over the next couple of months. In Sydney alone, it could be 300,000, and if Victoria stays in an extended lockdown, well, we're looking at a few 100,000 in Victoria.
The Treasurer admits the headline is deceiving, and workers in New South Wales, who account for almost a third of the nation's workforce, have been particularly hit hard.
With a fall in the number of hours worked in the month of July of 7%. And an increase in the effective unemployment rate to 8.3%.
As Melbourne's lockdown lingers, these kind of numbers are likely to be replicated there too. Events planner Gabe Dyson is keeping her spending to a minimum as she remains stood down from her job.
It's stressful. I mean, you wonder if you should be looking for another job, but at the same time, are there any jobs out there? Like, is everyone looking for a job?
Today's figures barely capture the extent of job losses during lockdowns. In an indication, though, of what's to come, the number of employment ads fell as much as 14% in New South Wales and 4% nationally between June and July. Fewer jobs and more people out of work is not a combination anybody wants to see.
The impacts of worrying about if I'll have a job in my industry because there won't be any work, and the more lockdowns we go into, the less money, the less revenue that's coming in. I could lose my job because of that.
As lockdowns continue, it's likely more people like Gabe will face increasing stress about whether they'll work again.